Hey yo, LAZ, Gen Pop gang in the building, Slim Blunt gang in the building, Comment gang in the building. I need y'all to tear this up. Shout out to the God Wise. Shout out to the whole Bed-Stuy, the whole Vernon Avenue. You heard we talking official Brooklyn history. As always, you heard? So if you out there and you rep that BK life, make sure you leave about 11 comments. And that's a fact. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you subscribe to my Gen Pop TV channel because it's going down over there. If you don't know, you need to find out. You heard the content game over there is nuts. Gen Pop TV. After this episode, go to Gen Pop TV to find extra commentary and a few morsels that you won't find here on the regular Saint Laz channel, because you know I got to keep things exclusive, baby. You heard? But let's get it. Z-Lord.
Like in a few days, everybody like, yo, it's a bunch of guys outside. They waiting for somebody. They getting ready to somebody up. You heard? I'm like, who? What's going on? So I look outside, and it's Love standing with Shoe Shine, with Half, all of them is outside waiting. And I see Love. I said, they must be waiting for me. You know what I'm saying? You on there?
Yes, sir.
All right. So peace. I want to speak about a rites of passage we had called catching Vicks and catching the jokes or snatching pockets. I heard a lot of brothers talk about some notorious robbers in our neighborhood. So I want to go into the culture of why we did what we did, and I also want to tell one of my experiences. But first of all, the rob in the snatch pocket culture is a rites of passage in my neighborhood, in my area. All of the robbers, prolific robbers from Midtown, come from right there in my area. The brother Slop, I don't know him personally, but we must have hung in the same circle because he named a whole bunch of prolific guys that I grew up around. He named Darkel from Tompkins. Darkel was the original Gooch. You understand? Darkel is the general. Rest in peace. He's the original Debo. You understand? This is a prolific gangster. You understand? From our neighborhood, from Tompkins, from 99 Tompkins. He named a few other brothers that I grew up around. He also named Little Reg, which was the Slop that I knew. That's my cousin. He's a bishop. He's a preacher. Anyway, when it came to the robbery game, even in Bed-Stuy, even though we might have been fighting each other in the neighborhood, when we met up in other barrels, we unified and we robbed and took everything down, straight up. That was our culture. That was our rites of passage. In fact, with me, because I had knowledge of self so early, I had conflicting thoughts about what I was doing. So I had to build what you call cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is what you have when you justify doing something that you know is morally wrong. You justify it in your mind. You make a justification. For instance, back then they had Howard Beach and Michael Griffin and Yusef Hawkins and Bensonhurst. And then you had Gavin Cato. So those things justified in my mind snatching pockets and robbing and doing what we did. In fact, I didn't need the money. I did it for sport. That was something that we did in our neighborhood. Later on, I started doing it for the money, but initially, I did it because that's what we did in our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So, Sloppo also named Pow Wow, who I gave the story about. He was talking about him and talking about how he walked. Like I was telling, he was giving confirmation of what I was saying, how he turned and walked off. He had this weird walk about him, like a big giant. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we also, like I said, we went, when we was in other barrels, we would take money. It would be like a candy shop to us, because like the brother Knowledge was saying, in certain areas they got money. In certain areas, like in Brooklyn, our hustle was robbery. You understand? Our tool of trade was the pistol. You understand? We got up in the mornings like a regiment. We got up in the morning in my neighborhood. We used to meet up at one time in this restaurant on Myrtle and Troop, and it was like a day labor spot. Niggas would be trying to get with the real gangsters that's gonna really take down some money. The young brothers would be trying to go out with them. You understand? I don't want to name a whole bunch of names, but there was some prolific armed robbers and pocket snatchers in from our neighborhood, from Tompkins, from Sumner, and from Marcy. If you look at my block and where it's sitting at, I'm surrounded by all three projects, but I'm a side block guy. You understand? So, in fact, one night, just for instance, one night we used to go to this spot in Midtown called the Latin Quarters back in the day, right? And all of the rappers and all of the money from all over the city would be here, and we would be robbing and pillaging over that motherfucker. One night they jumped on Bismarck. You understand? Jumped on Bismarck like a pack of lions, you know, on a water buffalo. I think he got that $150 then. I don't want to, you understand? But anyway, I'm going to tell about the first time I got pinched in Midtown. I was on 42nd and 8th. You understand? So that night we went all through Brooklyn. We used to go through certain neighborhoods where we didn't go for blind money. So we went to neighborhoods like where we could see the money on the people. For instance, those big fur, like mink hats and shit like that. We used to go in gazelle glasses and rings and diamonds. We went to where that was, my little group. We went out there. We used to go through Crown Heights. We used to go through Brooklyn Heights, where they had those little communities, if you know what I'm saying, where the diamonds and the diamond dealers and all of them, that's where they lived, out there in those communities. In fact, they had their own security in those neighborhoods. And one night we went through there, and you know, we wound up in a situation with their security. You understand? And we put the Lottie Dottie on the security, and wind up with all of his shit, his glasses, his hat, his money. But we also took his walkie-talkie and his handcuffs. We got and dipped on the train on the I think we might have went on the Utica Avenue C line, or the Kingston and Troop C line. One of those, we got on the C and shot up to Midtown, right? We shot up to Midtown all along. You know, we doing what we do. We snatching pockets. We doing it. We working our way up. Because, you know, when we went out, it wasn't just, it was a bunch of us, and we didn't talk much. It was almost like we had telepathy. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really have to talk.
Y'all was in a pack mentality. Y'all was communicating in a pack like wolves.
That's a fact. We didn't talk much once we got In fact, we would carry little, like I could come out my jacket and switch my jacket around. We would know how to switch our clothes around when we got in certain areas, and we stopped talking.
Now these is all dudes from Tompkins and Vernon?
Huh?
The whole team, your whole team was from Tompkins and Vernon?
Yeah, sometimes. I used to rob with some guys from Marcy. I used to rob with little Shy from Marcy with the braids. I robbed with a lot of, mostly from Tompkins projects and my block, Tompkins and Vernon, mostly. But the OGs, the real prolific robbers, that I know was from Tompkins. The real gangsters. You know what I'm saying? You got like Mercy and Shakim and Ramel and little Shiloh from 77 and all of them, man. It was a whole posse. At this time, New York City was pure a desolate place. It looked like a bomb had hit New York City in the 80s. There was broken bottles and dog shit everywhere, and the only money we was getting, we was taking. We was hunting. You understand? We went on that A train and we took it. You understand? So now I was into the story about going through Crown Heights, and we had the handcuffs in the walkie-talkie, and I'm up on 42nd Street now. You know what I'm saying? So we went to 42nd and 8th from Crown Heights. We got on the train. Now we used to go to 42nd and 8th because they had a bunch of Johns and peep shows and porn movies out there back then. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 13, 14 then. This was where I started at, right? So we used to catch the tricks and the Johns when they try to pay prostitutes. We would rob them. We would rip their pockets out. We would leave their pockets like rabbit heads, like Biggie said. You know what I'm saying? And we would say that phrase, click, click. We would say click, click, and that would put us on point, like there's some money right here. You know what I'm saying? And my man C and my other man went down. They followed the Vic down in the train station. They caught the Vic and ran out of the train station, but we was on something else. Me and my man Jose was on something else, scoping something else out. So they came out the train station, right? They caught the jokes and came running out the train station. We just stood still so we could catch ours. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what I didn't know then was there was a police precinct down in the train station, in the subway. So the Vic must have screamed and the police came out. And back then they had police dogs. They had big German Shepherds. You know what I'm saying? So the police came out the train station and let the dog go on us. You know what I'm saying? Let his dog off the chain. The dog ain't chased them. The dog came and grabbed me like, nigga, you did it. You know what I'm saying? The dog grabbed my arm and wrestled me down, right? So they handcuffed me. They handcuffed my man brother. You know what I'm saying? Right? My man and them that caught the Vic, they standing right there, looking, right? But we didn't speak. Like I said, we didn't tell. We had a different code of honor. We didn't tell on. Like telling on a nigga was the last thing in our mind. You understand? I don't know what the fuck going on with these young boys today, but like telling on somebody or talking to the police and all that shit. I mean, that just wasn't even we didn't work like that. We grew up together. You know what I'm saying? We was family. How the fuck you gonna come home and you told on a nigga? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna show your face and you told on it? You went and told it to the police. Anyway, my man and them was standing right there. The police took us. The police took me. my man Jose and my man Rags, they grabbed us. They took Rags because he was protesting, like telling them to get off us. Rags is a live wire, right? He take down, anyway. They took us down in the precinct and held us in the precinct, and they was letting the big ass dog bark in the cell, trying to scare us. That shit was scaring the shit out of me too, because you in the cell and you got a big ass German Shepherd barking up in the cell. Every time I doze off and try to go to sleep, they bring the dog and let him bark. Anyway, when they caught us, we had proceeds from all the shit we did that night, all type of shit, all type of people shit. We had gazelles, we had fur hats, we had money, we had rings, we had all type of shit in our pocket, like we've been on a robbing spree. You know what I'm saying? But my man had the walkie-talkie and the cuffs in his pocket from the joint in Crown Heights. You know what I'm saying? So they tried to make that shit more than what it really was. You know what I'm saying? My man, in fact, wound up going up north on that case. You know what I'm saying? I was young, I was underage, so my father came down there and got me. I got charged with jostling. Back then, all they would charge you with, really, if you snatched the pocket and didn't hurt nothing, you would get charged with jostling. You know what I'm saying? I was underage and they put me on this probation, which I passed. That was the only time I ever got locked up for a joke stuff. But we would tear Midtown up. But I got much better at it. You understand? Where, it became a part of, I would see an opportunity, I would get it, and I would be gone before the person, you know what I'm saying? Before you can react, I don't hit your pocket, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But that is one of the, that's one of the things. And like I said, us from all the, I had family in every project. I had family in Marcy. I got family now in Marcy. I got family in Tompkins. I have family right now in Tompkins. I have family right now in Sumner. You know what I'm saying? My family is still there. And we would unify and rob together. But I also, want to give Sean to Shoe Shine and Love and Bumsy and half from the front, half from No String, and half from the back. Had my man Happy Daff. Me and him was locked up together. Me and Bumsy was also locked down together. And let me tell you this. In fact, I seen Tilo right before, like the week he got killed. I was on the island with Tilo. Me and Tilo was in the pen together. He had all of his property and shit, and he told me he was going to HDM. We was in the 4 building. And I was on a late go back. I remember dates and times and stuff like that because I remember my case where that was like in the last day of January or the first few days of February in 1990. We was in the pens together. So, I seen him. We didn't talk much, but he told me they was moving him to HDM and shit like that. Me and Tilo was in the same class. Me and Tilo went to Street Academy on Madison and Marcy. We was in the same class together. He was quiet, like a quiet guy. We didn't talk much, but we knew each other from around the way. We walked that back up the way a few times together. But I wound up earlier. What I didn't know is I had a beef with. I had a little thing with. We was little kids, mind you. But I had a thing with Big Love, and he wasn't Big Love back then. But we wound up in the same school together out there in Greenpoint, 126. Across the street from McCarran Pool. Sometimes they used to bus us from that neighborhood. In my case, they bust me over there because I had a high my state exams, I used to score real high. I wasn't a good student in the class, but I was I can take tests and get almost perfect on my tests. So in that way, I was real intelligent. So they instead of sending me to IS-33, they sent me to 126 out in Greenpoint. I used to take the G train to Nassau, and automotive was out there too. So there was a bunch of us out there in that area, but that was a mostly like Italian, like Polish neighborhood. Anyway, me and Love wound up in the same school together. And at the time, my older brother and cousins used to tell like jail stories at night. So here I am in this nice white school out there, but they're telling feet and gangster shit to me at night and shit like that. So me, when I seen Love, you know, black men sometimes, man, when they see another bull, they try to challenge him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. And we had a few words, and like in a few days, everybody like, yo, it's a bunch of guys outside. They waiting for somebody. They getting ready to fuck somebody up. You heard? I'm like, who? What's going on? So I look outside, and it's Love standing with Shoe Shine, with Half. All of them little niggas is outside waiting. And I see Love. I said, they must be waiting for me. You know what I'm saying? So we get outside or whatever, and the guys that I was with some guys from around the neighborhood from Tompkins, and they ain't want no smoke. They was really like good guys. They wasn't really like gangster like that. Like I said, we was out there going to that school because they had better teachers and better, education. The system was a little bit better than our neighborhood. Anyway, when they seen that smoke, you know what I'm saying, they got away from me. I had this little kid that used to hang around with me named John Napolitano, little Italian kid, but he liked my style, and he used to hang under me, man. You know what I'm saying? He was a real good kid. And then I had this other girl, this girl that liked me, named Clarissa, from Lindsay. And everybody left me. Everybody moved away from me. And the light was on me. Everybody, all the so-called gangsters, all the so-called, guys that was trying to act hard, they got away from me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we not getting none of that. Anyway, my little man Steve from Marcy, Steve Grimes, rest in peace, he just passed. His name, everybody call him Polo. Anyway, he was like, yo, I don't know what you did, but they up here, I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, they followed me or whatever, and it was like, you think you a mountain man? And they all jumped on me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really hurt me. They did fuck my little man up, the little Italian guy, right? So when I get up and they leave or whatever, I was like, why you do that, man? I'm telling the Italian kid, yo, why you do that? Why you ain't? He said, they were gonna fucking hurt you, man. What do you want me to do, right? I was like, damn, he got more heart than these guys that grew up in my neighborhood. He a little kid, right? Yeah, he was fighting with me and the girl, Clarissa. They was fighting with me. We was going back to back. It was a lot of them. And they had that big fat kid from Marcy. He got me there. You know what I'm saying? But we was yeah, it was Love and all of them. The same guy. We had run-ins all throughout, the years. Nothing as adults. In fact, I lived in Marcy for a period where they used to just give me the nod. They, They gave me a pass because they knew, they knew we fought and they fought or whatever. When we catch them out of bounds, we catch them out of bounds. They catch them. So as we got turned into adults, they didn't, it wasn't really no smoke. I'm talking about teenage stuff. And as they got older, I started hearing their name more. I used to try to keep my shit on the low, but I was hearing their names ring bells, you know what I'm saying, like that. And when they seen me, they gave me the nod. When I seen them, I gave them the nod, and it wasn't no shit like that. We also had a few run-ins, like in that train station down there on Murder and Willoughby. I had a few run-ins with them. Probably the whole neighborhood had run-ins with them, if they didn't keep their head low. If you standing like a bull, and you was from another neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a few run-ins with them because they was deep and they was doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? But the place that we was in was a junior high school close to Automotive, across the street from McCarran Pool. It's a big junior high school called John Erickson, 126. A lot of guys from Cooper and from around the way went to that school, but it was far out. A lot of people from my neighborhood didn't go there. You had to get shipped there. But anyway, I dust myself off or whatever. We had run-ins. I ain't gonna get into that because I respect them in that way. I ain't gonna get into, and I also don't want to open no old wounds and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because shoot just passed, and I got a lot of respect for these guys. We never really tried to hurt each other in no way. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they had fucked up. They had beat the white boy up so bad. I said, yo, why you stay? Why you do that? He said, what do you want me to do? They was going to hurt you. You understand? So he had a different kind of integrity that a lot of guys that so-called act like they gangsters. The little Italian guy, he had more integrity than all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because he held me down right, wrong, and indifferent. He wasn't going to leave me. You know what I'm saying? And then I said, you all right? I said, John, you all right? He said, I got a color TV over here on my fucking eye. Do it look like I'm all right? And we all fell out laughing. He had a big ass eye jam. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of my run-ins with Marcy, and I told that story just to put some light on Shoe Shine and Hatch and all of them, man. Much respect and much love. You know what I'm saying, to them brothers or whatever. If we still here and we got through those times, you know what I'm saying, I respect you. I ain't got no beef with nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. It's all love. If we came through that era, man, that we came through and we ain't, perished, and we still here standing to tell a story, you know what I'm saying, and to make a better way for the ones coming behind us, then I got mad love for you. I got mad respect for you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. What else I wanted to talk, what else I wanted to say? These brothers, right? You got brothers, right, that are attacking each other, right? From New York City in particular, right? These brothers, right? Because we have adopted this pettiness into our character.
Click the link in the description and the link in the comments and go watch the rest of this commentary and hear me and Wise building on Gen Pop TV. You heard? And make sure you subscribe and hit that bell on that Gen Pop TV channel, or you gonna miss exclusive conversations like this one.